Welcome to PDC Spotlight for September 2009. I'm John Jackley with the Portland Development Commission. Today we're in North Portland's Kenton neighborhood, here at Posies Cafe on Denver Avenue. We'll be talking with owner Jesse Burke about what it's like to turn a small business dream into a reality with the help of the Portland Development Commission. We'll also be talking with our own Bob Alexander about the important work he's doing to help lead the North-Northeast Economic Development Initiative. So let's get started. North and Northeast Portland are very different places today than they were even 5 or 10 years ago. We've made a lot of progress. PDC has worked with the local community on streetscape improvements, small businesses, housing and job opportunities, but we have a lot more work to do. That's why we've launched the North-Northeast Economic Development Initiative. We're going to ensure that the average person can benefit from the tools of urban renewal, just like developers and other government agencies have been. We're going to ensure that there's equal access and opportunity for jobs, housing, economic development, and community improvements for all the neighborhoods, for average citizens and for businesses. And we're going to make sure that everyone can share equitably in the benefits of growth and change that urban renewal brings. PDC has an unprecedented public involvement effort that involves Facebook, Twitter, our webpage, extensive community meetings, and the opportunity for any citizen in Portland to comment and provide input. So we'd really welcome your participation either on our webpage or on our Facebook page at PDX-NNEDI. We're going to ensure through this increased public participation and the increased availability of urban renewal resources that the average person and the average small business can take advantage and share equitably and equally in the economic development opportunities that this project presents. Here to talk in more detail about the North-Northeast Economic Development Initiative is PDC Special Projects Manager Bob Alexander. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Why don't we talk a little bit about your background, your role at PDC, and then we'll get into the specifics of the initiative.
Great. I've been at PDC about 14 years. I started off working in economic development, working on increasing local business and jobs within the area. Also worked on the Enterprise Zone program, and now I'm in Special Projects Manager. What that means is really looking at the urban renewal districts. Last year we looked at the Lintz area, expanded the maximum indebtedness and to provide more jobs in that area.
PDC has launched this North-Northeast Economic Development Initiative to bring jobs and housing and other benefits to an area that's traditionally been underrepresented. What are some of the priorities that we're looking at in terms of things that can be done in North and Northeast?
Well, clearly job creation is probably job one for us. We'll be looking at ways to help increase the number of jobs in this area, also to help small businesses directly, not unlike this business here. And then we'll be also looking at things like affordable housing and infrastructure improvements.
So what's the timeline for this project?
The timeline will be roughly meeting monthly with a Citizens Advisory Committee that was formed, and that committee will be working through March of 2010. At that point, they'll be passing on a recommendation to the PDC board, and if they decide to go ahead, then it would take probably another 3 to 4 months to actually do the amendments.
How can the average person participate in this process? Is it something that anybody can make their voice heard or participate in?
Absolutely. There's a number of ways. First of all, we come to the meetings. Our meetings are publicized. We have a number of social media outlets that they can come in. Our website is also an access point. We'll have comment cards where people can come in and place their comments. In addition, we'll also have some meetings out in the neighborhoods to engage neighborhood associations in this process.
So, Bob, at the end of this extended public process, what gets produced? There's some kind of report that makes real specific recommendations on how to spend the money and what kind of investments to make?
Exactly. That report would be looking at not only those issues about project priorities, but also about boundaries and the area that this new urban renewal district, amended district, might encompass. And again, that would be made as part of a report and a recommendation to our board of directors at PDC.
So this process is starting with the Citizens Advisory Committee. Tell us a little bit about how who's on it and how it works and what kind of contributions we expect to get from the citizens.
Well, we have approximately 25 members of the community. We have representatives of education, also the neighborhood associations, We have urban renewal advisory committees for both the Oregon Convention Center and Interstate. We have representatives of both of those groups. So a broad range of representation. Also, Multnomah County and Portland Public Schools sit on this board.
Bob, thanks so much for spending the time to be on the show today. If you're interested in more information about the North-Northeast Economic Development Initiative, please go to our website, www.pdc.us, or check us out on Facebook at PDXNNEDI. Recently, the decision was made that PDC's housing department would join with the Bureau of Housing and Community Development to help form an entirely new housing agency called the Portland Housing Bureau. As a result, PDC will now focus on real estate development, job growth, and economic development. To assist us in this mission, PDC is now home to the Economic Opportunity Initiative and its talented staff from the former BHCD. Let's take a look.
Thank you. My name is Lynn Knox, and I hate to brag, but I have the best job in the city.
The Economic Opportunity Initiative changes lives. This program, now housed at the Portland Development Commission, focuses on people and individual achievement, moving its participants from crisis to stability.
The Economic Opportunity Initiative is a poverty reduction program that uses a bottoms-up approach to economic development. We're a coordinated system of around 34 different community-based, nonprofit-run projects that target people with multiple barriers to success that bring with them major challenges to getting ahead in today's economy. We focus on individualizing career paths for low-income people through either microenterprise development or workforce development. There currently are about 2,600 people involved, whether they're in microenterprise development or workforce. All of our participants get a commitment of 3 years of service from us.
The EOI represents economic development in a personal sense, creating economic opportunities for even the most at-risk people.
The individual that you see standing before you right now is not the individual that I was 3 years ago. You would not like that person very much.
The EOI works as a funding conduit with participating organizations. Federal dollars, City of Portland funds, and foundation grants flow through EOI to agencies like Central City Concern, where the Access to Building Trades and Customer Service Occupation Project gave Felton Howard the skills for a new career.
In February 2006, I was arrested for the distribution of narcotics. I spent 17 days in jail and was put in a treatment facility for 60 days. When I was released from the treatment facility, I got to tell you, I had no idea what I was going to do.
Part of the reason that this initiative was developed was because there were gaps on the workforce side and on the small business side for service to the very low-income, multi-barriered population.
This 4-year-old program has already graduated 2 classes. Participants have moved from low income to making a true living wage, with skills and training directly attributable to the Economic Opportunity Initiative. Families and communities are strengthened when initiative graduates bring home living wage paychecks or open local businesses and become taxpayers.
We've had 2 graduating classes now, and in both of those classes, we've made major jumps in income for folks way above the 25% that was our goal.
The Economic Opportunity Initiative demonstrates the art and inspiration of possibility, helping people move from poverty to prosperity.
And right now, I want to let you know that I'm a truly grateful product, the resources that were available to me through APSCO. But I'm also a product of the mentorship and the guidance that was provided to me by the people who work under the initiative. And I'd like to thank you for allowing me to share it today.
Thank you.
To build a sustainable economy, Portland must assert leadership in 3 key areas: a sustainable way of life, sustainable job growth, and inclusive prosperity. We hope you'll enjoy this next short video about how some of Portland's top business leaders are helping us meet these challenges and how the newly adopted economic development strategy is going to help get us there. Let's take a look.
Portland has done a remarkable job of placemaking over the past 30 years, praised nationally for our quality of life, our vibrant central city, authentic neighborhoods, and our commitment to sustainability. Our investments in quality of life and quality of place have infused the city with talent and creativity. Now we need to build the world-class business infrastructure to match and translate our assets into widespread economic opportunity and job creation for businesses of all sizes.
It's a city that embraces new ideas and the entrepreneurial spirit, that you don't need to be this large entity from day one, that they sort of like the idea that you're just a guy doing a project and riding up with his bike helmet and handing some samples out. I came out for a long weekend in the summer of 2005, liked it so much, and moved out here 2 months later, realizing that it was this big food and beer city. I had this project with me. Its green initiatives was also something that I wanted to embrace as an industrial designer.
City economic success depends on providing small businesses with the financial and intellectual capital to grow their products and services, and depends as well on creating market opportunities that encourage business owners to take risks and thrive. This is the concept behind economic gardening, where small companies with fast growth potential can bridge the gaps to business development.
We're an environmentally responsible paint company. We focus on color and design and environmental responsibility throughout all of our business practices. So not just a toxin-free paint, but everything we do, we incorporate sustainability into our entire business model. If you're starting a business in Portland, make sure you are well known in Oregon, then make sure you're well known in Washington, then move into California, and then do what you can to become a national brand. And I think building alliances with whether it's the city or other small businesses, it would be nice if we connected a little bit more with other small businesses in the area so that we could learn from what other people have done and make sure that we improve upon what's been done rather than try and reinvent the wheel.
Many of Portland's most successful businesses started in neighborhoods serving local markets, later expanding to national and even international distribution. These homegrown entrepreneurial firms are the engine for the creation of wealth and new jobs. Portland's challenge and opportunity is to help them build the capacity to enter new markets, export products, and expand customer bases.
Having a business in Portland is great because the overall community is really supportive of small businesses and startups, and me being in the food world, it's a great place to start. I mean, we have great dairies, local dairies, we have farmers that grow our mint and our lavender and all this. We have so many suppliers that are so close by that you can really feel good about and really feel strongly like we're supporting the local community by, making our product, turning it into something else. When you're trying to start a business, to have resources, through Portland State, through the Food Innovation Center, Small Business Development Center, all those kind of things make a huge difference in how to get started with, having resources, networking, finding a good accountant,
Main Street businesses support our neighborhood commercial districts, attracting investment, supplying jobs, serving as entry points to wealth creation for a growing number of people, and contributing to the city's vibrancy and praised quality of life. Portland's continued and expanded support for neighborhood-serving businesses drives the vision of 20-minute neighborhoods, where residents have easy access to goods and services through walking, biking, or public transit.
We started off as just a coffee shop, drinks and pastries, and pretty soon here I guess I'm going to be just a full-scale restaurant, and which is kind of overwhelming but exciting. We're an all-organic cafe and bakery, and we make everything here from scratch. We use all organic ingredients. We try to get everything as locally as possible. We work real seasonally with ingredients. We're a community meeting place. We're just a part of the neighborhood. there's a lot of empty storefronts around here, and it would be great if we could fill those, have more businesses that would attract more people to come to St. John's. St. John's just recently got accepted into the Main Street program through the state. We're really excited about that being a program through which we'll be able to do things like that, bring more businesses into the area.
Today, the city is renewing its commitment to economic development and job creation. Portland is poised for the future, ready to seize opportunities that benefit both families and businesses, while we move forward with the long-term strategies that will help our region lead the development of a global green economy.
We love where we live, and we want to work together to make it the best that it can be.
These videos are produced by our own in-house reporters, Ann Mangan and John Cardenas. If you have ideas for videos you'd like to see on our show, drop us a line at videos@pdc.us. I'm here this morning with Jesse Burke, owner and operator of Posies Cafe here in Kenton at 8208 North Denver. Jesse, welcome to the show, and we really appreciate your letting us shoot here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about why you decided to get into the neighborhood coffee business, and why to you it's a little bit more than just a business.
Yeah, well, I'm a Kenton resident. I've lived here about 6 years, and I've waited about 6 years for a coffee shop to open. Everyone thought this would be the next neighborhood to develop. It's a historic district, and I think it has the promise to be a true historic district aesthetically, not just on record.
What's it like starting up a small business for the first time?
Much more stressful than I ever thought possible. My husband and I both are small business owners, and so I went through it one time with him, and that was very stressful. And second time around in a completely different field. He's consulting, mine is retail. It's totally different, but the stress is exactly the same.
So you get a little bit of help from the Portland Development Commission. So tell us the truth, don't pull any punches. What was it like to work with us?
I think a little bit of help is an understatement. The Portland Development Commission actually financed our entire project. I know most of their programs are gap financing, but we're in an urban renewal area here, and I knew that this was the type of project that they were interested in seeing come to the neighborhood. And we had another financier working with us that was going to be one of our loans, and PDC was going to make up the gap, but they kept delaying voting on the issue, and I was paying rent here every month, and I called our loan officer and desperate said, this is my life on the line. I can't do this every month waiting for someone else to come through. And PDC totally came through and said, okay, we'll do the whole thing.
So on your website, I noticed that you've got kind of a statement, in essence, about connections to the community and your philosophy. Tell us a little bit about the thinking that's behind a community-oriented place like Posies.
After having a daughter, I realized how few places there were for parents to go, as well as everybody else that you see at a coffee shop. And so our philosophy became that we wanted to just be a neighborhood coffee shop, a place where everyone was allowed to come. The two requirements to work here are that everyone pulls consistent shots and everybody is welcome. So no leery eyes to anyone that's a little bit too loud or children. But with that, we also, because my husband and I are both small business owners, felt it was important to support other small businesses. And even more local, in most of them being in the north or northeast area. So we went with Ristretto Roasters, who's located on, they have two locations, one on North Williams and one on Northeast 42nd. And we have Florio Bakery, who's on MLK. We source a lot of our ingredients from farmers market, but there are other areas that you can't get everything from farmers markets, so we do the same thing everyone else does and making runs to cash and carry. But
So when you look at the menu here at Posies Cafe, you're not just getting what you're offering, but there's a community connection behind the ingredients, the suppliers, and just a sense of being in a special place that's about to take off.
definitely, a good example is JJ, who has her wraps business here. That I knew, she and I met because she wanted to start a wraps business. She had done it at Saturday Market, but wanted to take it to the next level. So I said, well, why don't you just use this as a platform and see how it goes. So there are a lot of people. Our hummus is just a guy trying to start a business. Our wraps are just a girl trying to start a business. We hardly market up at all. And you can see everybody from children to the creative class to anybody. They're all here all the time.
Jesse, thanks so much for being on the show today, and we really appreciate Posies allowing us to film here. I'd also like to thank Bob Alexander from PDC for talking about the North-Northeast Economic Development Initiative, and also to the North Portland Media Training Center and the Scanner Foundation for producing our show. I'm John Jackley. Thanks for watching.